Two, one. Hello, everyone. I'm here with Lucas, one of our clients down in Miami, around Miami, Florida. We've been running a few campaigns for a few months now. I'd say 5 months ago is when, 6 months ago is when we first linked up. Probably longer, actually. But we've been working on some stuff for the last 5 months anyway. And he's nice enough to talk about the progress, what he's had to do to get there, just all the way from start to finish. So, Lucas, do you want to just introduce yourself or say anything about how you run your mortgage business?
Sure. I'm a mortgage broker, and I work with a company called C2 Financials. So basically, we're independent mortgage brokers. We are responsible for, running and generating our own business. Pretty independent. I self-process my own files up until now still. So I'm very, very hands-on on all the files that I work on.
Very nice. So, what have we been able to accomplish the last 5 months?
A lot of realtor outreach automated through the program, which has been super helpful, big time saver. Because, like I said, I'm very hands-on in my files, so it's something that I would have trouble working into my schedule, which is something that some people do, but at least me personally, with how hands-on I am in my files, it is kind of tough. So the automated outreach, which has led to meetings, phone calls, being able to have conversations with realtors that were interested in talking to, loan officer, mortgage broker, just kind of automating that process. And as far as, what's come out of it, I've had countless meetings. I don't even know how many at this point, at least a few dozen, I think. From those, have made some good contacts, and have gotten a few leads, and I actually have the first lead closing today. I think he's closing in like an hour,
That is awesome.
which is good.
An hour.
Yeah, yeah, just from that one closing, I'm recuperating my investment that I've made into the program, which is great. So that's been the progress so far.
Good stuff, man. You close that one deal, and the referrals start rolling out from there. So that's where the gravy's going to come from. That's so exciting so soon. Let's talk about the progress, like how we got from the beginning to there. So you joined the program. We start to onboard you. What's the onboarding process like? And like, how did we decide what and what not to do in order to run a successful LinkedIn marketing campaign towards realtors? What was the onboarding process like?
I feel like the onboarding process is really easy, really like well systemized, good process. So you have templates and things kind of like ready to go, as far as messages, and also like what I should do to optimize my LinkedIn. Just like the couple steps, it wasn't really too much. Once we did the couple things, I think maximum it took me like a day or two or something like that of just like focusing on it, optimizing my LinkedIn, which involved a few things, getting reviews and recommendations on LinkedIn and that sort of thing, adjusting the about me section, I think it is.
Everything.
And
Everything.
yeah,
We
yeah,
have,
just everything. Like, yeah,
I was just going to
yeah, it
say,
was really
we
well
had to do
systemized.
in order to, we're both talking. We did what we had to do in order to create a realtor magnet that's going to attract these many conversations that you had over the last couple of months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that was the onboarding process. I thought it was really easy. It was, like I said, pretty quick. Everything was kind of ready to go. I just had to do it. And you were always available when it came to like if I had a question or something like that, or wasn't sure about something. So yeah, that's my feedback on the onboarding process.
And when you initially signed on, like what were your initial expectations and how far did we reach them or surpass them or anything like that?
Well, based off your previous reviews and like other videos that you have, like this one, I felt pretty confident that there was going to be some results. I figured if so many other people had good results, I would probably have good results. That's what made me comfortable to make the investment because it's not the smallest investment. you know, regardless of how much money we can make off a deal, still, it's still something you have to consider. So seeing all the like the track record that you have and everything like that did help a lot. So I want to say it met my expectations, because I had the expectations I had were that I was going to be able to generate new like partners that I would be able to work with like long term, which that is already happening, and that I would get leads from it. That's the whole point, and that those leads would close, which that has happened now. So it's been exactly, you know, it met. I would say I would have said it would have surpassed it if I was expecting less, but I already had kind of an expectation that this is going to work. So yeah.
So how has that changed like your business over the last couple of months from where you were up to now with the new relationships? Do you feel that, I guess my question is, do you feel that the relationships that you invested in with us in order for us, excuse me, to get you there in a 5-6 month period, do you think that's going to, I guess, save you money on marketing in the future because of your new referral partners?
I think so. Yeah, I think it will. Like naturally in this business, having the referral partners is what some people, that's their whole like bread and butter. For me, up until now, I was doing some of that, but a lot more like online advertising. And I plan on continuing it until maybe a point where I don't have to. But now, like my referral business is much more, you know, than it was. And I guess if I'm like, as far as like from my perspective, like my honest opinion, I feel like what this program has done for me has kind of taken the like, I guess you could say the pressure or like the feeling of like, oh, I need to, you know, be prospecting new realtors. Like, oh, I didn't do that this week. Like, I need to do that. This is automating that. So I don't feel like I'm slacking on that. Because like I did have, you know, previous referral partners, I do have my other channels. And so that was already happening and that is naturally growing as well. But it wasn't so much like an active prospecting. It was more like deal by deal. Every deal that I do a good job on, I try to, you know, get, you know, milk those relationships, and put my best foot forward and present myself well. But as far as the act of prospecting, which I think is an important thing to do, I feel like that's what this program has helped me a lot with, because I know in the back of my mind, I always know, okay, that's happening. That I think that's real for me personally. That's what I like a lot about it, and the fact that it's working. But that's how it helps me.
Yeah, so I want to walk down that path. Let's talk about that. What's it like to have your realtor prospecting done the right way, productive way, kind of going on in the back, on the back of your head where you can focus on other things. Like, walk us through that. You've had that for the last 5 months. What has that opened up time for?
Well, for me, I'm still kind of starting out my business. I've only been a self-originating loan officer for about a year. Some people have been doing this, 20 years, self-originating, 15 years, 10 years. So they have like a pipeline, a database, referral partners that they've had. I didn't. So it's required me to be much more hands-on my files. Like I said, a lot of self-processing. And basically, I could have been using third-party processes, but like a lot of people know, in 2020, early 2021, just they're super busy. Third-party processes are super busy. You don't really get that sort of service that you would have if you were doing it yourself, unless you happen to get lucky, I guess. So basically, this whole period that we were in required me to be hands-on my files, and so that would take away from time prospecting. Which a lot of people would say is the most important part of your business. So yeah, I would be working on my files now, but if I can't prospect, then I'm potentially not really growing my business. I'm maintaining it, but I'm not
Chicken or
necessarily
the egg.
growing it.
It's a chicken or the egg thing. What should I do first? What comes first? It's hard to do both.
Yeah.
What you've done the last 5 months is, let us take it off your shoulder, and it's been awesome. Like, your first closings today, like in an hour. That's great. That's just, level one. It's a lot more is to come. How many partners total, or how many realtors total have you been able to establish relationships with from what we've done? From your investment into the campaign, how many would you say you have right now?
So I've made contact with a lot, but as far as the ones that are actively sending me leads, I want to say that's a good question. Because there's some that have sent me some here and there, so I want to think of those too. Because not every realtor is super active. Some are more active than others, so I want to be able to count those as well. I want to say more than 5, less than 10. I think that are now
How
sending me leads,
many?
and like I said, one of those.
How many did we say? Sorry to cut you off. How many did we say
Yeah.
when we set your expectations up front? Because that's you're right there in the middle. Do you remember?
Actually, I don't remember.
No, it was 6.
Yeah.
It was 6.
Oh, it was.
It was
Okay,
6.
okay, it was
If
6.
you join this program, if whoever's watching this, if you join this program and you do what Lucas did, which was his responsibility, reply, follow up, have the phone conversations. Let's talk about the phone conversations really quick because you ran a really good 5-month campaign. Um, we started off a little slow, but it really boosted up in month 3. So like I think that makes up for it. Let's talk about those conversations. How were you able to take these conversations and convert them into, I guess, follow-ups? And then more importantly, I want to ask, how has your conversations with realtors evolved over the last 5 months?
Mm. I've definitely gotten more comfortable with the realtor conversations. Like I said, this whole self-originating thing is kind of new to me. It's only been about a year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was used to having conversations with borrowers, but not conversations with realtors. So I'm definitely much more comfortable on conversations with realtors. So that's evolved. Just the comfort, just that having the conversation, seeing where the conversation goes, seeing if this person's even a right fit for me or not. Um,
And
and then what was the first part?
how's that been a benefit? How's that been beneficial to your business? The constant practice.
I think it's been beneficial because it's such a huge part of our business is developing these relationships with realtors. So if you can, when you do have that opportunity to be able to feel a little more comfortable and like be able to present yourself better, I mean, that's just a good thing. And what was the first part of your question? I want to make sure to answer the whole thing. So that was the second part. What was the first part?
I think the first part was, how were you like on the phone? Did you,
Oh yeah.
what was that journey like? Because for some of our clients, they know how to sell themselves. Some, they really learn throughout the process and they start shy and they end up being, they love the program because they've grown, they've practiced. For you particularly, what was that journey like for you?
Okay, for me. Um, Let me think here for a second. I think at first I didn't really know how to approach like
Mhm.
how to sort of set myself apart. Like and I would mention some of the things, oh, I'm a broker, these are some of the benefits of that, some like the technical things. But as far as me as a person, I think what started to develop was me just being more myself, which I always am with borrowers on the phone. But again, for whatever reason, like the realtor thing was just different to me. And I imagine I was like, oh, they probably talk to a lot of loan officers, a lot of brokers, like how my, they all want referrals and leads and that sort of thing. So, but I think what I started doing was just kind of talking about my business, asking them about theirs, mentioning things that I'm doing to grow my business. And then, just things that I use, whether it's like programs that I use or technology or like, whatever. But I think the most important thing is just me, myself.
Right.
And then I also would sometimes mention, which I think nowadays is so important, is your online presence.
Mhm.
So I would mention like my online reviews, check out my online reviews because I can say everything I can say about myself, but at the end of the day, I'm biased. So if you look at this, kind of like what you do,
Mhm.
these people are all saying the same thing. And, not all of them stick, some people I had good conversations with, but it was just, nothing has come of it as of yet. But these are at least conversations that I had, like connections that I established. We have our retention that we're running now. And these are things just to kind of keep me top of mind, moving forward, maybe not today, but maybe a year from now, this is something that comes back around.
Exactly. We've planted seeds and now we're going to water those seeds over time, which you mentioned with our retention. Exactly.
Yeah.
So last question, who would you recommend the programs that we've been running? Who would you recommend that to? Obviously loan officers, but what kind of loan officer?
I would recommend them to the type of loan officer that wants to focus more on purchase business. Um, because, with the refi boom, people were so busy with that. And I get that.
Yeah.
But people that really want to have like a more long-term like more longevity, I think, in their career. I think this business is appropriate for them. People that maybe are starting, like for me, from zero, not really having any realtor relationships, maybe just family and friends that you personally know in your sphere of influence. But besides that, I didn't have anybody. And I think starting from that position can be a little like daunting, or a little like, oh, I don't, how do I start to add to that? And I think this type of program could just kind of help take some of that fear and like hesitation away, because it's happening. And yeah, sure, you're not going to convert every single one, and but that's the nature of the business. That's the nature of any sort of sales conversion sort of thing. But if even some of them start to convert, now okay, you're growing your business. So I think it's appropriate for those people in that position, people that maybe already have, but they want to add on it, whatever. But people that are more focused on having a more long-term career, whether they're starting from zero or have some already, I think it's a good idea.
Wise words from Lucas. If whoever's watching this, if you guys do exactly what Lucas did, you'll also be closing a deal in an hour. So we'll close off right here. I'll let you go to that. Congrats on that. And that's just the beginning. That's when you close the loan right. That's an additional referral you'll get from the buyer and the realtor that you worked with. So this is just the beginning. I look forward to retaining our giant list of realtor contacts. So Lucas, anything else you want to, last words, final words that you want to say, or anything at all before we go?
I just appreciate, everything that you've done, working with you, your company. You guys have done everything you said. Yeah, you guys have done everything you said you were going to do. Very easy to work with, talk to. You're very on top of your stuff, which, obviously I really appreciate. So, I'm grateful that you came through on your promises and things that you said you were going to do, and the results that we were going to have. So that's about it.
Lucas, I appreciate those words. That does mean a lot. We work our butts off. I try to but I always strive to deliver for my clients. So that means a lot. If anyone's interested in joining this bandwagon, this great realtor campaigns that we've been running with everyone, not just Lucas, let me know. Lucas, if anyone has a question, do you think they can shoot you a message over on LinkedIn? Maybe pick your brain. Would that be okay?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's totally fine.
Cool, man. Make sure no one bothers you, but a few questions here and there won't hurt. All right, man. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Sounds good. See you.